Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name is Victoria. We've got your daily reading for Friday, November the 14th of 2025. Yay, it is Friday. Let's see, we've got the moon in Virgo all day. Okay, so that does tend to be a fairly gentle kind of energy for the most part. Of course, we always have ups and downs no matter what we do. But we do have some mostly positive energy today. We've got a sextile there with the sun in Scorpio. So the moon and the sun working together, so we could have some revelations, we could have a little bit of extra energy, we could be perhaps getting a little bit of an energy boost to make some positive change. Right, and so that can be really wonderful, especially with Virgo energy, your daily life, right? So kind of sometimes the boring and mundane, but we were spicing it up a little bit there with the Virgo energy. We also have another sextile with Jupiter in Cancer. Now, Jupiter is retrograde, okay, as is Mercury. Okay, we've got a couple of retrogrades going on, but so you could be kind of pausing and reflecting about things. You might want to move forward with something, but you could also be just taking a step back and just reassessing things, to making sure that you're making the right moves, the right decisions, or, you might even be considering holding off on something there as well, right? Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. And that, of course, is retrograde along with Jupiter that just went retrograde. So Jupiter is normally about expansion and growth and all these things. And so when we step back, right, with the Jupiter retrograde, it's like, you know what? Hold on. Let's take care of our inner world. Let's take care of our inner circle. Let's take care of me, right? So rather than putting yourself out there. So you could be just feeling a little bit like your needs aren't being met. So you might be switching up your daily routine so that you can better meet your own needs. So you can put yourself out there. We have had kind of a little bit of a theme with that last couple of days. We do have an opposition later on in this evening with the moon in Virgo opposition to Saturn in Pisces. Okay, so Saturn is disciplined energy, it's goal-oriented, and it's very realistic. Pisces energy does tend to be very spiritual, very creative, but sometimes head in the clouds, right? So this might be where, you might be doing something or dealing with somebody this evening, and you might have a very difference of opinion about something, right? Because that Pisces energy can be very dreamy, very spiritual. So it might be that there's some real world things that you have to do this evening, right? Saturn energy, or over the weekend. But the Pisces element of that has you going, but I just want to meditate, or I feel like I need to do some spiritual practice. This can be where you get a little more disciplined in your spiritual practice, but there could also be your daily life, right? The moon in Virgo pulling you something away, right? So we've got kind of opposing forces there. So whether that's something in yourself or with other people, we do have a little bit of a push and pull with that energy, but we can find compromises with that, especially as the moon enters Libra tomorrow. Very peaceful, very diplomatic, very harmonious energy. But with this is where we can also resolve some things and make some decisions. We got the world. Interesting. The world is about getting things done, right? It's a completion, a closure, wrapping things up, getting things done. It might just be how you feel about your week. It might be that your week has gone by really slow and you're like, oh, I'm finally done everything, right? With the world card, you could be, trying to finish all of your tasks so that you can have a weekend free and clear of obligations, so that you can maybe do something that you want to do, right? There's that Saturn and Pisces stuff going on right there. It's like, first you got to finish your homework and then you can go outside and play with your friends, right? That kind of thing. But this can certainly represent a successful completion of something. The World card is a wonderful card of success and abundance, completion, all these wonderful things. And it can also move you towards expansion and growth. And so this can be what we already said already about, Jupiter typically wants you to expand and grow and explore other things and get out of your comfort zone, right? But that moon and Virgo energy kind of pulls you back, and the retrograde energy pulls you back a little bit and says, okay, but first we got to clean up some loose ends, right? First we need to tidy things up, or we need to finish this thing, or we just need to have a look and say, okay, what have I accomplished so far? Where have I been? And is this the right move for me right now, or do I need to wait just a little bit? The World card can be, about a journey, right? It can be a card of travel. So some of you here are maybe contemplating where you're going to go on vacation. You might be making some travel plans, right? It's a little bit of a theme. And so you might be kind of reassessing those things, or you might have a successful rearrangement of your travel plans. The World card can bring us that abundance, okay, and that yippee, I got everything done kind of energy. So it can be really wonderful. But the World card is, like the end of a cycle, right? So you could be at a little bit of a turning point here for you, and it might be quite fruitful for you. We've got the Ace of Summer. There we go. Ace of Summer is the Ace of Cups. And what do we have? We finish one thing and we start something new. So it can be that energy where I can't go out and have fun, Ace of Summer. I can't start something new, okay, until I finish what I've already started. So you might be dealing with that today and this weekend. Okay, the Ace of Summer is the Ace of Cups. And it can be something fun, something frivolous, something happy, something joyous. It can be a new creative project. It can be love and romance in the air. You could have a relationship that's evolving here. Or, of course, there can be something new friends, new family. But it can also just be this sense of excitement, right? The Ace of Cups is very joyous in its energy. It's like, yes, I feel vibrant. I feel alive. I feel like anything's possible. It can bring peace and harmony and healing and all kinds of wonderful things to our emotional body, but also our spiritual body here as well. So some of you might be getting some spiritual insight. Some of you want to engage with your spiritual practice, or maybe expand upon it a little bit. And of course, we got to deal with some of our boring, mundane day-to-day tasks, right, before we feel like we have time to engage in our spiritual practice in some way. But this can be wonderful, wonderful energy, doors opening, opportunities, and of course the feeling, the good feeling of getting our obligations out of the way. And we also have the Prince of Summer here as well. Now, this is the Knight of Cups. All right. So beautiful. This is love and romance. This is moving forward with a creative project, a creative idea. This can represent a person. So some of you here, the world as you know it, okay, is about to come to a close. You've been on a journey, you've been on a cycle, maybe it's been healing, maybe you've been single for a long time, and in walks someone new. So over the next few days or so, you might meet a new friend or potentially a new romantic person, okay? You could also have a creative collaboration going here as well. Some of you might want to expand your horizons a little bit, learn something new, but something that speaks to your creative side, right? We're all creative in some way, shape, or form. It's not just the artists and the painters and the poets that are creative people, right? We can be creative in a lot of different ways. So you could be meeting up with somebody or a group of people, maybe even, that share your interests. And through that social engagement, right, you could click with somebody here. They share some of your values. They share your outlook on life. They share your interests or your passions. And so this can be a new friend, someone that you can really collaborate with, you can learn from, you can grow with, right? And this, yes, it can also be some sort of love and romance. Some of you here, you might have a proposal, this weekend? And if you do, I'd like to hear from you, because this can be, someone might pop the question. And what happens with that? You are ending one cycle of your relationship and you're elevating that. Kind of taking things up to the next level. And it might be something, if they've got love and romance in their heart, it might be something here that is like, a trail of rose petals to, I don't know, a romantic candle at dinner or something, or, just think of something like super romantic there. Could certainly happen. Can also be where maybe someone says, I love you, and just shows some affection. Whether you've known this person for a long time or a short time, right? It can be someone being very generous, very caring, and showing you some affection that you deserve. You could also be putting that out there as well. Okay, so show somebody a little bit of love and light this weekend. You could be potentially getting some sort of messages here as well. If you do engage in some spiritual practice today and over the weekend, it can be like just a little bit of an insight. It just could be that you feel a little more at peace, feel more connected with your intuition and with spirit. It can be really beautiful. Anyway, some beautiful energy coming in there. And we've got rejection from your fairy godmother. Now, little Miss Fairy Godmother, what do you mean? What am I rejecting? Well, the world, right, can represent an end of a cycle, an end of a journey. The Ace is something new. So for some of you here, you might be turning your back on something that you're finished with to take something in a new direction. It's like, you know what? I think I've got all I can get out of this particular situation. And now I'm ready for that new beginning. Right? It doesn't have to be like a big, massive thing. Okay. But sometimes we do need to say no or let go of something in order to make room for the new. And remember, I said that the Ace of Summer, right? The Ace of Cups can bring healing and forgiveness and peace. Right? So this can be you're letting go of something, past hurts, past rejections, right? You're letting go of something that you've been holding on to and that has actually been holding you back from opening your heart and saying yes. So sometimes those past rejections that we've had, right, they stick with us. Right? So again, we can have this big shift in your energy here where you're like, nope, out with all that old energy. I'm not going to hold on to it anymore. I'm clearing it out and I'm opening my heart to all the wonders and the possibilities that are out there. I'm saying yes. The Ace of Summer is a yes, yes, yes. Okay. Instead of a no. So if you've been telling yourself a negative story, or if you've been hiding in fear, why? For fear of rejection. Sometimes we don't take a risk. We don't take a gamble. We don't put ourselves out there because we're afraid of being hurt or we're afraid of a no. We're afraid of rejection. But if we let that fear of rejection dictate what we do or do not try, then we're not going to have the growth or the experiences that we justly deserve. So say no to holding on to fear of rejection and old past hurts or wrongdoings. Okay. And we're going to say yes to opening up. Yes to the possibilities. Yes to the potential. Because the world is full of possibilities. Don't listen to the news, right? Most news suits a particular narrative. And it's a very few handful of people that own all the news outlets. Okay, there is more good in this world than there is bad. And we do see examples of that all over the place. So join in that energy of love and possibilities and the good in the world. And that will help conquer and move away from the bad. I'll leave that there for you guys. I do thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe if there was something here from you, if you're enjoying my readings. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Monday. Bye.